Hi everyone, I'm CCP Convict from the community team on EVE Online. A new feature is coming to EVE Online which is intended to help new players get the best start that they possibly can and take some of the pressure off our hardworking ISD star staff who spend their days in the rookie help chat. And that feature is called Aura Guidance. To talk about Aura Guidance, I'm joined here today by CCP Kjelmhund from the Aura Guidance team and GM Goat from our player experience team. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
I'll just kick it straight off. CCP Kjelmhund, what is Aura Guidance?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
It's a new player helping tool. So a new player opens the game, finishes the short tutorial, is docked in a station, and has little clue what is going on. The idea is that they can open Aura Guidance and just ask it whatever. Like how do I mine, or what should I do next, or how to undock, just basic stuff.
I can think of a few alliances that could use of that information. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and Aura will try to give a good answer. It will highlight UI elements, so if you're having trouble finding, fitting window, it can highlight that. If you ask it about, what are good beginner mining ships, it will show you with links to good mining ships, and hopefully like make new players a little more curious, see all the cool stuff that EVE has, and get them hooked maybe a bit earlier. Yeah.
Right on. So it's basically taking Aura, the virtual assistant that's existed in EVE Online basically since it started, and actually turning her into an assistant.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Because basically all this time Aura's been able to just sort of berate you for running out of capacitor, or tell you that you've been tackled, or tell you that you can't dock. But now you can say, why not? And hopefully she'll be able to give you an answer.
Yeah.
So the Aura Guidance it is a chatbot.
Yes.
It is a chatbot. There'll be an icon in the neocom that you can click on, and it'll just open up a dialog box where you can type in your question, whether, no matter sort of like how simple or straightforward, and Aura will attempt to give you an answer about that.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Go on.
Yeah, it is a chatbot, but so the issue we had was that we were looking into like some frequently asked questions, or a static database that you could like look for answers in. And the issue is that the context of the player just matters so much to give a good answer.
What kinds of things sort of like?
So like, are you currently docked or undocked, or what ship do you have? How is it fitted? Recent deaths, stuff like this is what she looks at. And the issue we found was that like static answers just don't rarely hit the mark for a question you have. So we went with a chatbot route.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like the context is everything. EVE is very much one of those games where it's like, how do I do X? And the natural question is like, well, it depends.
Yeah.
There could be any sort of like number of responses to that.
Exactly.
So a new player will be able to click on the icon, ask Aura Guidance a question, whatever it is they're confronting. How do they undock? How do I mine faster? How do I get more ore? Or like, where do I find a 5 meganewton micro warp drive 2, and they can direct you towards the market. And when I've been playing around with this for a couple of months now, and we've also had the CSM involved in some of the testing for this for us so far. One of the really cool things that's been added to the responses, you've told me, is now like a certain, I don't know if we call them hyperlinks within the context of EVE Online, but previously it would say like, oh, a good ship for you to graduate from your IBIS into would be, if you're a Caldari player, would be a Kestrel, and it would be in there, the dialogue. But now all those things are kind of highlighted throughout the text, so you can click on that show info on a Kestrel, or if it's something that refers to the UI, it actually has the helper links to it, so it'll help you navigate through the UI to get to it.
Yeah, that came in with like the most recent update, and we're still actively like working on the feature and improving it, but we want it out as soon as possible, see how it's used, see like where the new players, how they interact with the game, where are they confused, maybe new players who never make it to ask questions to Rookie Chat. Very curious to see.
And speaking of Rookie Chat, GM Goat, Rookie Chat is a channel that all new characters are deposited into for, is it 30 days?
It's
Is that
30
right?
days,
It's 30 days. And which time they can sort of like just refer to that channel if they have these kinds of questions. The downside is it can get quite chaotic in there.
It can get quite chaotic. And if you've ever had a new character and you sort of keep the window open, it runs into the tens of thousands of characters like in the matter of 4 or 5 hours. So it can easily be pretty daunting just to put any simple question in there. And when it comes to EVE Online, there aren't really any simple questions because you always need, like you said, you need the context, you need the evolution of like what's going to happen next. And you even, if you ask somebody like, should I be doing security missions or should I be doing distribution missions? And they're like, yeah, just do security missions. They're easier for rookies. Like, how are they easier?
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference?
Yeah.
And then suddenly you are doing security missions and you get thrown an exploration mission, and suddenly you have to have a probe scanner.
Yeah.
And then like you're constantly asking these questions, and it's just we as like people playing a new game don't always want to be asking questions and sounding really dumb to a 10,000 strong room, right? As well as like rookie help chat can only answer that many questions at a time. The ISDs do a fantastic job. And we could not have this game without them. The volunteers, like the only thing, they're second only to the community, right?
Yeah. Shout out to the Starlings, the ISD Star team who look after Rookie Help Chat.
Absolutely. If there are 3 or 4 or 5 people asking a question in there, it can pretty easily just become noise. It's just text on a screen, and you lose track of who's answering you, who's answering what they're saying, all these jargon words, everything.
Yeah, someone will answer to a question that was asked like, like 10 questions ago, and now it just seems to be completely inexplicable and bear no relation to what people are talking about right now. And a new player will be like, was he answering me? Or
absolutely. We all know this. We know this, that this is a problem. But like having a one-on-one chat with like an assistant that can see exactly what you were talking about, see the ship you're in. You can tell them what type of content you want to be doing, and they can give you step-by-step instructions and explanations for the more like nuanced or esoteric features and modules and stuff you can put on your ship. Like we like to talk about it internally, like the infamous learning cliff of EVE Online. That is difficult to scale, and it's really, really easy to bounce off it. But if you think about it in the context of gaming now, like people even have trouble with like the right-click contextual menus. Like you don't know that you get a different right-click menu for each thing that you like select and do things on.
Yeah, the nested menu, menu of Eve. It's sort of very, I think, intuitive and familiar to an Eve player, but for a person who's come from other MMOs or just like has never played sort of a game which has its sort of, I guess, its UX rooted in like a 2003 idea of like how to do things, then
back then if you wanted to set up your Windows 2000, you had to actually work for it. Like that's the way that I would always explain EVE Online. Like, why is all this right clicking? Because you want to be able to see everything and do everything. And then if you just like, if for instance, if you open up just a simple missile, like the show info button, the amount of information to get there. And then like, all right, missile
fuel, explosion velocity.
Like how far maximum flight time, blah, blah, blah. And then you look at a turret, it's even more. You have to think about tracking speed, transversal speed, like tracking, sure. All of this is very, very, very overwhelming. And so having this condensed place where you can ask that question without fear of being like perceived.
What does tracking speed mean? And one of the there was sort of like 3 sort of like main places that sort of like that the aura guidance can really assist with players. And we sort of arrived at these, I think, after you did a whole bunch of research into Rookie Help Chat itself. So first of all, speaking of Rookie Help Chat, Rookie Help Chat has been the primary source of the data that we've used to chain aura guidance.
Yes. Yeah.
So how did you obtain it, and how did you sort of like filter it and arrive at the data that we've used for this sort of like initial launch of it?
Exactly. We mainly used Rookie Help channel to build the question bank, we call it, that the aura guidance uses. Since then we've added to it. It's a very much a live question bank. Like from the internal testing, we've like built it, extended it to be able to answer the questions being asked there. But the rookie chat, we analyzed, it was millions of messages that we passed through, and we created a program or algorithm that detected like actual questions, so genuine questions. We found about 700,000 genuine questions in the rookie chat over the span of, I think it was 9 months we looked at. And a funny fact that the most common question from that was asked like 200 times out of 700,000. And that was, what do you mean? It's just nuts. So like
that's like the follow-up question is like, it's like, how do I do that?
Or you have to have like 8 probes and a combat probe launcher. Don't have the other one.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What the hell?
So you said you got 200 sort of main questions out of 700,000. So that
so the most frequent question was asked 200 times.
Excuse me. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So then we scoured through those 700,000 and we like sampled from it. So we didn't use all of them, but we took them and we looked at the following 10 to 15 messages or something and identified, was this question answered by a more veteran player?
Right.
And running that algorithm, we created a question bank that should have questions that match, most of EVE space. Not all of it. It's very large, but it covers a large amount of space. And we took those question and answer pairs, we cleaned them up, removed player tags, other not general information. We removed those and built the question bank that Aura Guidance uses today.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's that sort of illustrates the point that you made here, whereas like there's kind of no such thing as a common question. It's not like there's 20 questions that get asked over and over and over again, which you can just sort of go bleep, 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 call it a day sort of thing, because there are constantly other questions. There are some questions that get asked more frequently, but like there are probably tens of thousands of unique questions which could get thrown into Rookie Help Chat every day.
Definitely. And there are themes, like there are most questions about, ships and fittings, and after that, market and stuff like this, but there are themes. But
another thing your team identified was the problems with static guides. So first of all, shout out to EVE University. It's amazing resource.
We could not survive without the community wiki makers. Like I praised ISD before, but community wiki makers, thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
It's insane quality.
It's the closest thing that exists to a manual for EVE Online. But coming back to, you were talking about like you show info on a missile launcher or a turret and you're like, what is tracking speed? How does that work? And someone could send you a link to the appropriate page on the EVE Uni wiki, which is fantastic and comprehensive, but it's very, very detailed and long. And if you just want an answer to that one little thing right then and there, like having to scroll through that whole thing is probably something everyone should read at some point or another to understand how the relationship between tracking speed and ships transverse velocity and signature radius and scan resolution and all those kinds of things. But if you just want an answer right there and now, because just to sort of satisfy your curiosity so that you can move on, then being able to just quickly ask a question, get an answer, and not necessarily have to throw it into Rookie Help Chat for the 50th time. In some ways, like Aura Guidance will be able to like triage those simple things out of Rookie Help Chat so that like they get solved before we get to that point, which is sort of clear up the bit of signal in Rookie Help Chat a little bit for some of the more sort of complex things.
And to be clear, like the goal from the team is to increase the traffic on these EVE University sites by having more people like gradually want that information. Like, okay, I got a sneak peek here, but like, how do I understand it better once I like learn the basics?
I think it's something that everyone can agree on. You don't want a wall of text from your like AI assistant. Like the Aura assistant should be giving you the summary, like the core thing of what you're trying to do. And then, ideally being able to go then and ask in Rookie Help Chat saying, yo, this is what Aura Guidance said. Can you guys give me more? Or like, is there anything more I need to know about this?
Yes, definitely.
And we spoke a little bit before about like the context of that the bot can see of the character. So I'll just show you this up right here now. So this is for now this is all the things that that Aura Guidance can see about your state in the game when you ask it a question. It knows where you are, what the security status of your system is, what kind of ship you're in and what it's fitted to. Did you get blown up recently? Are you in a player corp, NPC corp? and it constrains itself just the information that the player is sort of like asking about. So it's not going to go off on a tangent or anything.
Nothing like about the market in general, or other players. Nothing like that.
So those things, the wallet, your skills, your assets, your fleet data, and market orders, are things that are currently outside the scope of Aura guidance. But you're going to try and sort of maybe incorporate these things into it over time, just so it can have a better awareness about the player's state when the player asks a question.
Yeah, that's a plan. Like for example, having skills. If you ask about what should my next mining ship be or whatever, it could tell you like priority of skills to get there, or something like that. We don't currently have it. Technical reasons for it.
We are launching this as a work. This is a sort of I don't know if you'd call it an alpha or beta or whatever, but it's a work in progress. And it's something that we'll be sort of iterating on over time as we get feedback for the community. But putting it into people's hands now, this is our chance to start find out what some of those unknowns are.
Exactly.
So I've done some tests on this myself. I've gotten some very accurate answers. I've got some wildly inaccurate answers as well. I've got to say, like, I fully expect that once this actually starts to appear in players' hands, we'll see a whole bunch of very hilarious screenshots of wildly incorrect answers being posted on the internets here and there, so people can clown on a little bit. That's fair enough. We expect that, and we welcome that, because that's how we identify where the weaknesses are that we need to sort of round in on.
Definitely.
And I would say, like, if we consider this to be the first rung in sort of the support ladder, like this is the first place you ask a question, then we have the ISDs that can provide answers, and then ultimately you can file a support ticket and get answers from GMs. We have seen memery about both ISD answers and GM replies, right? So like this would just be par for the course, really.
Ideally, you get the correct answer.
Ideally.
Second best, you get directed to where you can find the help.
Yes.
The undesirable outcome is you get the wrong information, and there will be some incorrect information for a while going forward. But then it's already improved a great deal in the time that I've been trying it out.
We can refer to Eve's tagline, like, don't trust anyone. So.
That's right. Even Aura, your own personal ship's virtual assistant is out to get you.
Some rogue drones got into.
And on that note, if we're not confident in the answer, so we have an algorithm detecting how much confidence Aura has in her ability to answer the question being asked. If that's low, you get directed to Rookie Chat. You get a message. You should ask this in Rookie Chat with a clickable link. Click that, opens Rookie Chat.
So you might end up there anyway, but at least you'll have first had the opportunity to find out if you can get your question solved elsewhere, which is really cool. All right, well, let's talk about the process that the assistant goes through when it's sort of assembling an answer for you. We've got this slide here. So a player asks a question. Do you just want to take us through all these 6 steps and sort of just explain what happens along the way?
Yeah. So a player asks a question. This is a bit technical slide, but the question is embedded, which means the string is changed to a number. And then you search in a database of all the questions that I mentioned before, the Q&A bank, and try to find similar questions. And we take 5 to 10 of those, depending on how similar they are. Take the questions and answers, and that is what the LLM sees.
Right.
So the LLM sees does not see like your direct question. It sees 10 very similar questions and tries to figure out what you were trying to ask and gives you an answer based on those 10 questions, sort of the middle of them.
The user has probably asked the same thing as this question, and this was the correct answer that time, so this is probably the correct answer this time.
And it
is
takes
that
a
an
few.
Simplification, or
no? It's very good. Okay. So because one question could involve like multiple parts. So like I want to improve my mining in the venture would be one thing, or I got killed in my venture, both while mining, both about mining and a venture, but you would find very different matches in the QA bank depending on which one you ask. The one would be maybe more about defense, while the other one would be fitting.
I suppose a person could just be adding extraneous information to a question, like context that isn't necessarily important to the answer, and it has to be able to sort of filter for that.
And people often tend to try to make them say crazy stuff, So we're
I'm sure there's going to be some people prodding and poking.
Please try it, but I hope Aura doesn't get baited too easily
Yeah.
into that. After that, they take those Q&A pairs, 5 to 10 of those, synthesize the answer with the player context, so current ship, current location, recent deaths. Then after that, we enrich the response, so we add metadata such as links to the ships and UI highlights.
Those things we discussed before.
And then we send it to the client. And maybe a note on this is that like all this work and all the heavy lifting is off client. So like you don't have to worry about this being very heavy on the client. And if you ask a question during a fight, it won't bump your.
There won't be any alliances using any aura lag. To,
it's like
affect
hopefully not.
The bad guys are jumping in. Everyone starts spelling questions. You know, like it's not on your client, but it's not on Tranquility either.
No,
so
no. So it's on a different backend as well.
All right, cool. All right, so we've sort of like talked a bunch about what Aura is and what it does. So just because we're talking about AI and we're talking about LLMs, I think there's that evokes a certain consternation or suspicion within some people in the community now, and fair enough, you know. But we really want people to understand what it also isn't when we're talking about. So first of all, this is not. This is essentially an elaborate chatbot to give new players assistance in the game. It's not going to be generating content for the game. We're not going to be replacing any, creative staff or anything like that with this kind of things. It's literally just kind of what I kind of feel like these things are supposed to be used for, right? It's right just to create a helpful tool to make everyone's day better.
Yes,
and that's all we're sort of targeting with this.
Yes.
We do want to improve the tool, make it better at its job over time, but it should not. Aura guidance won't be growing wildly out of scope from what it's doing right now.
The idea is not to replace the volunteers or anything. The idea is not to make customer support automated via AI.
Yeah.
No. The first step. This is the first step.
Yeah.
In the ladder that's floating away from you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just it's adding a slightly lower rung.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's easier for people to get on and start climbing up that thing.
Not miss the helicopter as it goes over the cliff.
I would have used like a train, maybe. Plug out from the station.
Yours is
way cooler. Well, you're both you're Icelandic. It's like a mountainous country. You're probably,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm from a very flat country, no mountains to speak of there. All right. Well, which is really cool. And I got completely sidetracked there. So we'll how will the actual Aura Assistant be rolled out and put into players' hands? Like what? Because it's not just going to suddenly pop up on every single person's client for you to play around with. How will people be getting their hands on it?
Okay, so we're gonna release this very carefully, and we're running a A/B test where new accounts either are entered into the A/B test. So if you're a new account and you sign up, you have a 50-50 chance of seeing Aura Guidance, and it applies to all your characters on that account. So 50% of new characters over the next few days. Then we'll halt the assignments, look at the results, and depending on the results, we'll turn it off, keep it on, but we'll always, iterate on it, see the flaws, and the biggest thing we want to take away from this first experiment is just what are the unknowns? What are the players who never make it to Rookie Chat asking? Like, can we get information from them?
That's really valuable too, because not everyone is going to think of clicking on Rookie Help Chat and get their start there, especially if it's very, very busy at the time. I also really like hearing that, like, if this doesn't work out, if we don't like it, we'll just go like, oh well, that's it, and unplug it, sort of thing. And so if you're a veteran player, that means that you're not going to have the new icon popping up on your Neocom.
No.
You're not going to be troubled with it.
No.
I mean, if you're a veteran player, you've probably got a network to get these kinds of. If you don't already know most of this stuff, you've already got a network to get these questions answered. You've got your corp in your alliance mates that you can turn to. You've got community discords that you can turn to. You know that EVE University wiki exists, and you can go there and read it. So you're not going to necessarily be troubled with this at all. But I mean, someone really wants to see how it works and try it out and poke it and prod it, they can probably just go spin up an alpha account and there's a 50% chance.
50% chance.
This isn't a plot to get people to create more alpha accounts, all right? It's just how we're going to be rolling it out. Because if you know, like if you ask this bot like, hey Aura, I've got 30 alts, how do I make a fully vertically integrated capital component construction pipeline? Probably going to struggle with that. It's not.
It might.
It's probably
at least
not
at the start.
And on that note, it's fully removable as well. If you see it on your Neocom and you don't want it there, you just right click remove.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
We should add as a punishment for customer support. This is a joke, by the way. This is a joke, by the way. We should add as punishment that they can flag your account to have it flashing every time you log in.
Yes.
I just like sort of like
just you've been a bad boy.
Big purple A in the center of the screen.
Yeah.
And you have to like answer a question to make it go away to prove that you know the answers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be an escalating punishment. I'm kidding. This is a joke. But me as a customer support, like as a GM, I sometimes find fun ways to punish people, right?
Oh, it's been a good chat. There's one last sort of thing I wanted to cover with you, and it's like in terms of like monitoring how it's going and getting feedback. There's going to be like a forum and a thread on the official EVE Online forums, and there's going to be a channel on the EVE Online, again, official EVE Online Discord, where people can probably ask questions about it, share erroneous, and I'm sure spam up with like hilariously bad answers to questions, which is all valuable to know. But just from our side internally, what kind of tools have we got to look into how players are interacting with it and which questions and problems it seems to be running into most frequently?
Yeah, so we'll set up or have set up like pipelines that analyze what is going in and what's going out. The model that the players see in the game is like a very lightweight, very fast model for just better UX, but we can run like larger LLM analysis on the answers or do web searches and stuff like that to figure out where accuracy was maybe off. Then we can also look at the questions that just got the fallback answer, like take this question to the rookie chat. And we can check, like, should we have answered this question? Like, does this question value an answer? And then we can just keep on evolving the Q&A bank to make sure future similar questions like this will get answered. So like the Q&A bank is alive and we are monitoring questions being asked and we'll use them to build out the system.
All right. Excellent.
I think it's exciting. I think
the
more ways for people to educate themselves and the like more condensed the answer is, doesn't have to be super accurate, like a general question, no, like a general answer, that points you in the right direction to tackle some of these archaic esoteric features we have. Like, do you guys know how to update the corp limit of your corporation? Have you ever taken part in like Entosis gameplay? Like that's something that frequently comes up, but a lot of people do it or like take part in it.
I noted before, you know what? I've never actually used a sub wand.
And this is not to like we're not disparaging anything. We're not saying that this is a bad feature. There's just EVE Online is a 23-year-old product, and the amount of stuff that's accumulated.
23 years young, I think.
Oh yeah. Sure. We're just starting.
Sorry.
The amount of features that have accumulated that you'll only interact with maybe once or twice if you're an average player. This will be invaluable if it takes off, and you can ask questions about those features that are buried somewhere that not even players know how to do them. So me as a GM, as a customer support, as a player experience person, I am excited. This is a good addition.
And to expand on what you were saying, like currently we're rolling it out to new players, but the goal is once we're happy, like roll it out to a larger audience. You can have been playing EVE for 10 years, but you've never done, activity X, know nothing about it. You will ask it like noob questions. Do you want to like bring them to the public, or maybe keep that lack of knowledge to yourself? Maybe
how do the sell orders actually work?
It's like you're supposed to be this veteran EVE Online player, but every time I ask you a simple question, it takes you about 20 seconds to answer. Like, what is that? It's like, oh no, nothing. Just put away the orders. Yeah, I knew all that stuff. I did that back in the day. It's all good. All right, CCP Kjelmhund, GM Goat. Thank you so much for coming and talking about Aura Guidance today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
If you haven't already done so, go check out the news item, which came out. I don't know if it's fair to say if that accompanies this video. I think this video accompanies the news item. So go read the news item as well, because there's more information in there. And now you know what Aura Guidance is and what it is not, and who it's for, and who it'll eventually probably be for, we hope, if it all works out. So give it a try if you can. If not, just keep updating those shit posts of the bot getting it hilariously wrong when people ask it questions about whether they should put lasers on their Drake or not. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.